police officer.
So yeah, make sure that you go to Wally's filling station and take the tour. They give the tour in the actual squad car, the Mayberry Squad Car.
Stole a chicken. We got to go look for it. We better hurry.
And it takes you all around Mayberry, and the guys are super knowledgeable about, you know.
And then something super cool that the tour guide showed us was a mural of Andy when he was younger all the way till he was older.
To the Matlock. Yeah, it went from like him as like when he first started acting all the way up to a Matlock.
Hi guys, I'm Kim and this is Ed. We're Adventures Our Way. We had a video of us going to the Mayberry Campground, and we told you we're going to have another video about Mayberry, and this is the video right now. One of the reasons why we wanted to go to Mayberry is because we watch the Andy Griffith Show every single night before we go to bed. We've been doing it for 20 years and we know a lot about, we just keep watching it over and over again. So we know a lot about Mayberry.
It's sort of like listening to the same relaxing music before you go to bed. I hear the whistle, I'm out.
Yeah, but you do watch some.
I do.
So, if you don't know about Mayberry, you really need to start watching this show because it is a really good show. This is the Best of Mayberry cookbook. I purchased it in 2009. I met the author. She told me that she made all of these recipes and had the town of Mayberry taste it to make sure they tasted good. She was a really nice lady, and I actually got her autograph. So, one of the recipes in this book is from the famous restaurant
Snappy's Lunch.
It's the pork chop sandwich.
Pork chop sandwich.
She actually got that sandwich recipe from Snappy's. It's the original. You can purchase one of these on eBay if you're interested in this cookbook, but they range from $8 to $80, so it just depends on, you can't get it anymore. It's from 2009.
All right, one of the first things, actually, the first thing you need to do when you get to Mount Airy, aka Mayberry, is go to Wally's filling station. We went to Wally's filling station because
it was by accident. We didn't know.
Yeah, it was. We just, I was like, hey, we're driving. Where do we go? Let's go to Wally's filling station.
There's a car.
The police car. So we turned in there, went inside. Just so happens, Wally's filling station is the visitor center for Mayberry. So make sure you go to Wally's filling station.
Andy Griffith's wife, she's still living. She still lives in Manio, on the same piece of property. When Andy passed away, he didn't want a funeral. He was buried there within 4 hours. So he was quite the stud. So he was actually married 3 times, and all 3 wives lived in the same house. But his wife that's still living, she was about 25 years younger than him, and she tore down the house and built a new one. So she's definitely my kind of gal.
And they got all kinds of
tour.
They got all kinds of memorabilia, T-shirts, just everything, cups.
I got this shirt there. And
Goober says, "Hey."
It's a big saying.
If you've watched the show, Goober says, "Hey." So yeah, make sure that you go to Wally's filling station and take the tour. They give the tour in the actual squad car, the Mayberry Squad Car, and it takes you all around Mayberry, and the guys are super knowledgeable about Andy Griffith, the characters and the actors on the show, the actresses, everything. Another fun fact, that Thelma Lou, the actual Thelma Lou, I don't know her name in real life, did actually live in Mount Airy, North Carolina the last 16 years before she passed. So she really did live in Mount Airy, North Carolina for her last 16 years.
And she also was in love with Barney.
You don't have to whisper.
And she also was in love with Barney, a.k.a. Don Knotts, for real.
She was definitely in love with old Barn, for real. So that, you need to take the tour. These guys are really good.
They tried to stump us on some stuff, don't you think?
They did.
But we knew the answers because we watch it so much. They said that we were like one of the first people they've ever met that knew as much as we knew about Mayberry, because we watch it every night.
That's correct.
We also had Jovi with us, and we didn't think we were going to be able to take the tour, but they told us we could bring her along, so she
They were
rode the car.
definitely dog friendly.
They're dog
So
friendly
she
there, too.
rode in the back seat of the cop car where she belongs.
And I rode in the back seat too.
How fitting.
They have a video of us being arrested.
Yeah.
Or a picture, actually.
Picture, yeah.
All three of us. Jovi had to go to jail too.
And right beside Wally's filling station when you're there is the Mayberry Courthouse, the Mayberry Hotel, and Howard Sprague's clerk office. So when you're there at the visitor center, you know, you just walk right next door and you get to check all that stuff out. They still have, I mean, you'll see, they still got the Andy's desk, the jail
looks
cell.
exactly
Yeah, it looks
like-
identical.
I think I have video of you going to jail. We couldn't go into all the other places because they were closed at the time. But we
The
did get to
Mayberry
go to jail.
Hotel and Howard Sprague's was closed
Yeah.
that particular day.
Fine.
Yeah, you got to check all that stuff
And
out.
the people there at the visitor center was so much fun. As you-
Andy's cousin
was there.
actually there
sitting on the front, just like a Mayberry, sitting out on the
in front of the
little-
filling station.
Yep, talking to everybody. It was kind of cool. We didn't get a picture of him though. There was a lot of people.
You know how
around.
old you are when you don't call it the gas station, you call it the filling station.
And we have a picture of me in front of the Darling's truck, right? There
Yep.
on the, that was on the show.
Briscoe, Charlene, and the boys. They have
Yeah.
their truck there. So, you know, you get to see all that stuff. And then they'll take you around town in the squad car and they take you to Andy's childhood home and they talk about that. Our guy, I can't remember his name, I apologize, but he took us by the Granite Quarry, which is like one of the largest granite quarries in the country. They have enough granite in the ground to last another 500 years.
Can you believe
So if your tour guide takes you by and talks about it, it's just really
that?
neat.
So you get a 30-minute tour guide ride. I think ours was 4 hours.
I believe so. But it was fascinating. It was a slow day, so he took us all around. And
Yeah, talked a lot about things, and it was very fun and interesting.
And Don Knott supposedly calls him at home one night and says, I hear you got work. And Andy says, Don, they said it'd be like making movies. Hell, it's like making a new movie every 5 days. It is killing me. Not only does he have to star on it, he has to help him with the writing. He has to help him. He's basically producing it, although not for credit. And Don does not miss a beat and says, sounds like you need a deputy. And Andy says, oh my Lord, let's call Sheldon Leonard right now. And that's how that happens.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that cool?
that's nice.
And so when that happens, Andy realizes what Don can do. He's known him since they were on Broadway together. And he steps back. If you ever see the first few episodes, they film without Don in the show. And the network decides what order the shows are released in. So when the network sees those first couple episodes with Don on them, they're like, okay, here's your first episode right here. And they sprinkle the other ones in so you might not notice. But that first season, he's all up in your face about how big a hillbilly he is.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have watched a whole season of that.
No.
And when Don gets on the show, that gets pushed back down on Knott's and how he gets off the show. Don and Andy, when Andy hires Don, he says, Don, I think we can get about 5 years out of this, which is the length of a standard TV show contract at the time. This is why the Enterprise is on a 5-year mission. It is an inside Hollywood joke built into the montage of the show. We hope we make it 5 years. They don't, 2.5.
No.
Andy says, I think we can get 5 years out of this, and then we can go do movies. I like doing them. I know you like doing them. Hell, we can do them together. And Don says, that'd be a great idea. I'm paraphrasing, but still. 5 years comes and goes. The show is bigger and better than they think. It debuts at number 8 and it stays up around number 3 in the ratings most of the time. CBS is the number 3 show without even trying very hard. And so Andy comes back at the end of the 5 years, which would be 1964, and he says, Don, I think we can get another 5 years out of it. They want me to keep going. They want us to keep doing it. We're gonna shoot it in color. We got new writers. It's gonna be good. And Don says, you said 5 years. I'm already looking at movie options.
Oh no.
And Andy supposedly does not want his best friend to fail in Hollywood, and he lets him go do movies. Of my life. They built a new one in the 50s, and Andy wasn't really famous yet, so they went on ahead and tore it down. They would have left it if it had happened today, I guess. But now it has become our municipal building back there, and our public library at the top of the hill, and our real Mount Airy Police Department. And everything is made out of guess what?
Granted.
Except for the one building that needed to be. I don't know what they were thinking there.
Andy, the museum?
It's brick. Don't tell anybody. We hide it behind all the shrubbery. We's embarrassed. I'm kidding. There's the statue. And the playhouse. This is what's left of Andy's elementary school. This is the old Rockford Street School building. Right here in this parking lot now.
Oh, okay.
He mentions it on the show. He talks about it. It's where Opie supposedly goes to elementary school. In real life, young Andy stood on that stage when he was 8 years old, and he sang "Put on Your Old Gray Bonnet," and he did a funny version of the song. And I am told they gave him his first standing ovation. And he went running right down this sidewalk right here, and he told his mama he did not want to be a preacher anymore. He wanted to be an entertainer, because ain't nobody ever claps for preachers. I love that story. See, he got better, if you could believe that. And faster. This is Bear Creek Gifts. This is not one of our police cars in front of it. That poor thing barely runs. Look how dirty it is. They never cleaned up. They're yelling at me back there. This is Miss Angel's Hillbilly Ice Cream and Moonshine Pies. Sorghum whiskey from our distillery in her pies and her ice cream, and sometimes in herself, but I'm not allowed to talk about that. Earl Theater. Andy had one of the premieres of No Time for Sergeants over here in this building. Opie's Candy Store. On the other side of that is Floyd City Barber Shop.
What's the story with the place being named Mayberry? Was it done?
Was this Mayberry first?
Was this Mayberry first? Like, for real? No. It was always Mount Airy.
Yes, I love the people that get in the car and they have figured it out. Oh, they are saying Mount Airy so fast that it sounds like Mayberry. No, they write it out for you. It is Mayberry. You see it on the car and on the badge and everything. It is named, that's a funny story too. Andy goes to Hollywood. They give him creative control on the show that has his name on it. He's not writing it or anything, but if you get creative control, and they still do this today, you might get to name the town, and you might get to name the characters. It doesn't cost them anything to let you name the characters. And Andy wants to call the town Mount Pilot. Combination of the names Mount Airy and Pilot Mountain.
Right.
They tell him that doesn't sound friendly enough, try again. And so Andy thinks about when he spent summers with his grandma in Mayberry, Virginia, about an hour north of here up the Blue Ridge Parkway. You can go there if you really want to, but all it is a general store with a few houses around it on a dirt road. There's not much to it at all, but that's where the name comes from. By the way, the grandma he was living with both of those summers, Grandma Taylor.
Wow. Oh, really?
See how that works?
Yeah. Also, the person that runs the visitor center, Emmy, was our waitress
at the depot.
At the depot.
So she
so friendly.
double dips.
We're supposed to go. There's a video of her talking about some of the stuff. Also, she told us to stop by and say hi before we left, and we didn't. So if you're watching it, hi, we miss you.
Hi, Emmy. Another thing you guys need to do when you're in Mayberry is go see the Andy Griffith Museum.
They give you a sheriff sticker.
That's your little sticker you put on your thing to walk around the museum.
It's cool.
It's pretty cool.
The museum is very interesting. They actually have the real costumes of like.
It's not just Andy Griffith. They have sections, and they have like a Matlock section where they actually have his gray suit. Another thing about Andy Griffith and Matlock is there's a tailor store on the corner of Main Street in Mount Airy that he actually came and got all his suits for the Matlock show from that tailor's.
Yep.
Right there on the corner of Main Street there in Mount Airy.
What they told us, the story about the town and the story about the Mayberry Andy Griffith Show is that he always referenced things in the show that are actually in Mayberry.
Or Mount Airy.
Or Mount Airy. Certain people's names or things that actually happened to him when he was a kid are actually on the show. So if you know anything about the show and you know anything about the town, you'll be able to pick up on things that he is talking about, whether it be somebody's name on his show. Actually, it was his friend in Mayberry, or aka Mount Airy.
Mount Airy, aka
Which is
Mayberry.
pretty cool because the tour guide told us a bunch of different things. We didn't know about that at all until when we talked to him.
Up in this town, he's born and raised in Mount Airy. He is as far as we can tell, he is not writing the TV show about his hometown. He is, however, putting us in key places, just talking about stuff from Mount Airy. It seems to have been done both to wave at people back home and also to make Mayberry seem more familiar than it actually is. If Gomer is very proud that he knows all the words to the Marine Corps hymn, and Andy says, "Where'd you learn all that?" And Gomer says, "It's on the back of them fans they hand out down Nelson's funeral parlor." That was the name of Mount Airy's funeral home in the 1930s.
Outside the Andy Griffith Museum is the Andy Griffith and Opie statue. Make sure you check that out. It's
I think
right
we have a
outside.
video of me and
Video and picture,
of me
something
in
like
front of
that.
it,
Yeah.
And then something super cool that the tour guide showed us was a mural of Andy when he was younger all the way till he was older.
To the Matlock. Yeah,
To
it
the
went
Matlock.
from like him as when he first started acting all the way up to a Matlock. It's
And
a
this-
mural on the side of a wall. It's huge.
This guy that painted this used black spray paint and white spray paint and painted this.
Yep, rattle canned it.
This made him famous. Now you pretty much can't talk
You
to him
can't.
'cause
Yeah, he's all
so
over
famous.
the country now, painting everything with rattle
But if
cans.
you could, when you see this picture, you're going to be like, no way, he did not use a rattle can.
Hard to believe.
Our tour guide said he watched him.
Yep.
Years, I think. He did it in about 10 days, and he did it with spray paint.
Really?
Nothing but black and white spray paint. He didn't even really sketch it on the building before he started.
It's hard to believe. You'll see the mural, and if you ever get there, you got to go see it in person, because when we were there, there's people, one right after another taking pictures of this thing. It's that cool.
It also has a picture of the
Pilot Mountain.
the peak of it.
Yeah, that's in the mural as well.
And a Pilot Mountain is supposed to be a
Pilot Mountain State Park.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
a-
famous
It's
state
a nice
park.
state park. We were going to go there.
But it was closed.
Not enough time, and
We
the
did
top of
go
the mountain
there.
was closed.
We did go to go up there, but this big closed sign was there. There was too many people
Too
because
many
there was a wedding.
Correct. So we didn't get to go
There was
there.
actually a bride in her wedding dress going to go up to the mountain.
Yep.
There is a lot of antique shops and stores
Along the main
along
drag.
the main drag, that you need to just check out. It's so interesting to see this stuff. All the buildings are from way back when. They're made of granite because
They got the
they have
granite
enough
quarry
granite.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And other things to do and see, like they do have like the real Floyd's barbershop.
He wanted to see it because
I did go. I had to go in and
the
see
guy
it.
the Floyd was cutting
Some
somebody's
guy's
hair. It looks just like the
Just
barbershop.
It's really cool. Opie's got a candy shop there. Opie's Candy Shop. And we ate at Barney's Cafe 2 days in a row. Not just one, 2 days.
We're at Barney's Cafe, and I'm getting ready to get myself an egg salad sandwich and peanut butter pie. I'm so excited, I can't stand it. You can't get egg salad sandwiches hardly anywhere anymore, and I love them. And I also like pimento cheese sandwiches. You could have got that, but I can't get both.
And I'm rolling through. I'm getting the Barney. Actually, it's not the Barney burger. I am getting the Southern Pimento Cheeseburger.
That's Barney's special.
That's Barney's special. They put the pimento cheese on top of the cheeseburger. I love pimento cheese, and I love a good cheeseburger. And then when you combine them two,
We'll let you see what it looks
yeah,
like.
we'll definitely let you see. And I got the, I like this. This burger just was good. It's the Southern Pimento Cheeseburger. It has nice steak burger patty, pimento cheese, crispy bacon, and coleslaw. on this hamburger. I mean, really?
And I had the egg salad sandwich both days, both times we went, because I love egg salad sandwiches, and you can't get them anywhere unless you make them at home. And chips and peanut butter pie, which I love.
Peanut butter pie. She does. She'll get a peanut butter pie as often as she just gets Coke. If they don't have anything she likes and they got peanut butter pie, that's what she'll get.
What's wrong with that?
Once a year, they have Mayberry Days there in Mount Airy, North Carolina, and it's like the whole town.
Everybody comes from everywhere
just
to this.
becomes this Mayberry. I mean,
It's
and
a
people
week
come
long.
from all over the world. All the lookalikes from like Andy and Opie and just Howard and.
They said that there was a kid there that looked like Opie. He wasn't dressed as Opie. He looked so much like Opie that Ronnie Howard's brother always goes every year. And
Clint.
His name on the show was
Leo.
No thanks, Leo. He always tries to give everybody peanut butter jelly sandwich. But Clint goes there every year, and he said that this kid looked so much like Opie that he actually called FaceTime
His brother
to show him how much he looked like him as a child.
But maybe Don Knotts' daughter in real life comes there. They have so many famous people that show up for the Mayberry Days. If that's the time of year you want to go, just know it's going to be packed.
Very busy.
But that's another thing to do while you're in Mayberry.
Yeah, so you have to book it
way out.
So you can rent Andy's
childhood home is actually owned by a company like Marriott or something like that, but they lease it out or they rent it out as an Airbnb. You can stay in it, and it's very expensive to do so, and you have to book it years in advance.
They said it's not available for 29 years if you want to go to.
On Mayberry Days, it's like book 30 years in advance.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So just something if you want to check that out, that's something to check out.
When you go to Mayberry Week, you also win prizes for different things. And they said that they asked you questions, and one of the questions was how many outlets are in the jailhouse.
Somebody won.
Apparently, I have no idea. And I watched the show.
I mean, who knows how many outlets are in? I bet the people that build the set don't even know how many outlets are in the store, but somebody knows how many outlets are in the Mayberry Courthouse.
They won. I don't know what they won. I didn't even ask what they won, but they won.
So anyway, you go to Mayberry, you got to check that place out. Mayberry Days if you want to go. All right, guys, that's going to wrap things up for the Mayberry video. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel.
Tell us.
Yeah, if you've ever been to Mayberry Days or the Mayberry Campground or Mount Airy in general, drop a comment below. Let us know what you saw, what you did,
what you enjoyed doing.
Yeah, what you enjoyed, things you liked, just let us know. Drop us a comment.
And if there's any campground you want us to go check out, please let us know.
Drop that in the comments too. But anyway, if you're still here, thanks for sticking around. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.
Bye.